Okay, well, welcome to the Lone Star Cajun podcast, episode number 7. We have our first guest here, as you can see, and who better than my mom, Lisa Thibodeaux, everyone. So, yay, Lisa. This is episode 7. I hope you guys watched episode 6 and you like that. That was our Munchie March Madness episode where we ranked a number of fast food places against each other, and we'll talk a little bit about that today and about some of your opinions on that. But thank you guys for tuning in once again. So let's just get right into it. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I think we're all doing as good as we can be in this new age of self-isolation.
I was talking to you the other day about that. You were saying that even in your lifetime, you've never seen anything.
No, I actually don't think anybody, even my parents, they've never experienced anything like this either. So it's quite new for all of us.
I mean, I was talking to someone about, like, could you imagine kids who are in high school, who are seniors, who don't get a prom or who don't get a graduation, or that would suck.
Well, yeah, and you know how, with you being an Aggie and the whole ring thing, and they're canceling the ring ceremonies, that's like a big thing for you guys, too, so it's affecting everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And there's all kinds of rumors about where it started, and in a lab, and all kinds of craziness, and no one knows anything. Everyone thinks they know, but no one really knows anything, and I guess it's just kind of become like a waiting game. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, so...
That's true. The only thing we do know is it's kind of uncertain, so yeah. And we can just do our best.
We do know you can stay home, try to distance yourself from people, and, protect everyone in your family as much as you can. Yep. So episode 6, we did our Munchie March Madness, and you and I talked about this, that you brought up the opinion that maybe I should have done this with someone else, and I concurred that opinion, and I would have filmed episode 6 with her and done that with her if I had the foresight to do that, but I didn't.
Yeah, that'd have been fun.
Yeah. So what did you think about the list? Was there anything? I guess we'll go quarter by quarter. So out of the chicken quarter.
Yeah, so I think the winner out of the chicken was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that was our winner, yeah.
And it took on in the last round Popeyes?
Yes.
Or Cane's?
No, it took on Cane's in its semifinal, but it took on Popeyes in the chicken final. So,
I mean, we're a little bit different because I'm a chicken on the bone fan, and you're a chicken tender fan. But even still with that, I agreed with everything that you said, because I do think that Popeyes wins in the seasoning category. But I think for overall, I would have to say Chick-fil-A, just because of their service. Because you are right, Popeyes is very slow. So
if the seating was different, would you have, if it would have been seated differently, just in terms of ranking from top to bottom, would you have had Cane's going against Popeyes in the chicken final Cane's going against Chick-fil-A in the chicken final instead of Popeyes? So basically, would you have Cane's above Popeyes?
No, I don't think so. I still like my chicken on the bone, and Cane's does not have chicken on the bone. So
it's about that chicken on the bone. Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough.
And Chick-fil-A doesn't either, but you're right. They have a lot of sauces. So, I have to have my Chick-fil-A
and a good service.
And good service, yeah.
So the sandwiches category, there's been some debate there. So I guess let me just clarify. When I say sandwiches, I include sandwiches, wraps, and I include a burrito as a form of wrap. Now, some of you may not agree with that, but I felt that my other option would be to lump that into miscellaneous, but I just felt that it deserved to go into the sandwich category. So for the sandwich category, of course, Freebirds came out of the sandwich category. What would you have?
Was that the overall winner?
Out of the sandwiches?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it was Potbelly versus Freebirds in the sandwich final. And,
yeah. Well, I don't know about that, just simply because when I went to Freebirds, I don't think I got the wrap. So I've never had a wrap. Yeah, I got a bowl.
Okay, yeah.
So I've never really had a wrap at Freebirds. So to speak of that, I guess I can't really have an opinion about it since I've never really had it. And I do like, you said the other one was?
Potbelly.
Potbelly?
What do you usually get at Potbelly?
I've gotten a few different things. I do really like their meatball stuff, though.
You do?
Yeah.
So Do you think Potbelly would have?
If it was me doing the brackets, like if we would have been doing it together, yeah, I think my vote would have been for Potbelly.
Okay. So Potbelly and Chick-fil-A on that left side, you still would have had Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Edging out Potbelly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For burgers, we actually just had Five Guys today.
We did for lunch. It was yummy.
So I don't want that to deter.
But what was the runners up?
Five Guys. The first battle was number 1 seed Five Guys versus number 2 seed Wayback Burger, which you've never had yet.
Right.
But the burger final coming out of the burger category was Five Guys versus Whataburger.
I think I would have to go with Five Guys. I am just a Five Guys fan.
Yes, and again, we did have it today, but
yeah.
I don't think that would have changed our opinion.
No.
Okay, and then the miscellaneous category, of course, Panda Express came out of the miscellaneous category.
Yeah, I'm a Panda fan.
Yes, she also is a Panda Express fan.
Yeah.
So you think Panda would have?
Yeah, I think Panda probably would have gotten that one for me.
And then Panda versus Five Guys. Now, I also will say this. She is not as big of a fan as the Five Guys French fries as I am, so is that correct?
Yeah, I just don't care for the Cajun seasoning, really.
Right. She does you like the regular ones. Yeah. Kind of, but not the Cajun ones. So I'll just say that, but your feelings on...
I like them both, and I think it just comes down to that point, mood. Like, what are you in the mood for? Are you in the mood for a burger or more, for Panda? So I don't know which one I would have chosen head to head for that one.
And from Panda, what meats do you normally get?
So I like to sample a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So I normally get the you've turned me on to that sweet fire chicken.
Yes, sweet fire chicken.
It's really good. I usually get the honey walnut shrimp.
Okay.
And I got is it the Beijing beef?
I get the Beijing beef.
Okay, yeah, I got that last time and it was really good.
Yeah. And the ragoons. You like the cream cheese ragoons
like
as
those.
Well.
Yeah, they're well seasoned.
So if you had to pick one, Five Guys or...
Oh, I'm going to say Panda for me.
Panda. Mm-hmm. So you would have had Panda Express versus Chick-fil-A in your fast food final, and the winner would have been...
I think I have to go with Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A would have won. So Chick-fil-A would have prevailed in your bracket as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Chick-fil-A is just... They kind of just do it their own way, and it's always so consistent. I can't think of a time where my order was ever wrong at Chick-fil-A. I mean, they're just so consistent.
They're quick. They're friendly, like you said.
The service is so good. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. Well, before we go to the next set of topics, I just want to say real quick, thanks to our sponsor, Anchor. Anchor is a listening platform for your podcast. You can put your podcast on there, and they will help you get sponsorships. They will put your podcast on other podcasting avenues. And it's a good way to get your feet wet in the podcasting community. So thanks to Anchor, and as always, I'll leave the link to my Anchor page in the description below the podcast, excuse me. And if you're listening on Anchor, thank you. If you can't watch, as always, it's another good avenue to listen on Anchor. So thank you. And then we have our Teespring store, which we discussed in podcast number 6. Which is up now. That link is also in the description per usual, and we have a couple of items up there. Those particular items will only be up for this next week before they are going to change. So get them while you can. We have some cool film crew merchandise. We have a hoodie, some other shirts, cool stuff, and there's a lot more to come with that. So as always, visit our Teespring store, the Lone Star Cajun Podcast, link in the description. Okay, so would you like to tell us what you do for a living?
So I'm a registered nurse, and my background has always been OB-GYN, and all 24 years. So I've done labor and delivery, I've done OB-GYN clinic, I've done high-risk OB home health, and now I do OB-GYN research.
Well, let's just start from the beginning, I guess. When did you decide you wanted to be a nurse? Did you go into college thinking you were going to be a nurse or in the medical field? What was your thought process on that?
So my earliest thought of me wanting to be a nurse was in childhood. And I don't really know what age, but Probably, I would say around the time I was 8 or 9, I can remember wanting to be a nurse. And specifically, I wanted to be a neonatal nurse, taking care of preemies, so like a NICU nurse.
Okay. That's babies who are born premature.
Yep. And I always thought, I would do that or pediatrics.
Mm-hmm.
But from an early age, I kind of knew. I was blessed because not everybody does. So.
Right, exactly. And did you always have Louisiana's nursing school in mind, or
yes,
you kind of always had an idea that you were gonna go there?
Yeah.
Did your parents go there?
No. Well, yes, they both did for a time. A long time ago. But I think I don't even remember what the name of it was then.
The school, they've changed names several times, yeah.
And so yeah, they did.
And then once you got into so talk to me about the undergrad. What's the undergrad like? Is it 2 years and then nursing school? Is nursing school right away? What is it?
So I feel like things have changed now.
Right.
Working at an education institution now, where we have a nursing school at the institution where I work, I see that it's quite different now. And so when I was in nursing school, you would go in and you would have to do your prereqs probably the first 2 years or so,
right?
And then you would apply to do your clinicals, and so and then you would do your semesters of clinicals, and then you would graduate with your bachelor's in the science of nursing. And now what I see more today is kids are coming out with a degree in whatever, and then applying to, like, say, nursing school, and then getting.
You think it's just not being sure right away, or?
I don't know. I don't really know what it is, but it just seems to be a different process.
Now, when you got into nursing school, so you've made it at this point. You're beginning your prereq courses. Now you're in nursing school. Two things for you that stood up to what you thought it was going to be like are things you enjoyed about it, and then give us two things that were not how you thought they would be. Maybe they were harder than you thought they were going to be. Maybe there were certain areas that you had to do in your certain clinical rotation that you just were like, I don't like this. So two things kind of that you did like and expected, and two things you didn't really like in nursing school.
So out of the two things that I like and expected, the first being that I know that I'm a people person. I like to help people. I like to do things for people. And so I did enjoy that about it. The second thing that I enjoyed about it was actually enjoying it, knowing that I probably had made the right decision, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to say about kind of having a plan and it working out, getting there and realizing that, wow, I actually do really like and I want to do that.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Two things I didn't like. So the first of those is that I did not like pediatrics, and I quickly realized I did not want to be a pediatrics nurse. And so that kind of changed my trajectory on going into obstetrics.
And so give us a little bit into that. What exactly is pediatrics, and what about it that you didn't like?
So pediatrics is just caring for children that are sick, and generally I would, it's newborns that have been discharged from the hospital through probably 18. And I just didn't.
18, is that?
18, you would be probably considered more of an adult, not on the pediatric floor.
18 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so these pediatric patients can range to 18 years old.
I think, because I've never worked
on the floor, but
I'm assuming. But I just didn't enjoy it. And I understand because I'm a parent, and so I can understand how it's very stressful for the parents, but it's also stressful for the nurses whenever you're trying to care for their little one, and you're having to start an IV on them, or you have to do things that hurt them, but not really because it's for their health, and so it can be challenging, and so I just didn't enjoy that.
And you did a short rotation through that?
I did.
And just...
I said, nope, that's not what I want to do.
So you knew you didn't want to be a pediatric nurse.
I knew I did not want to be a pediatric nurse.
And one other thing that sort of is not what you expected.
So I did realize that probably psychiatric was not for me. We did have to do a rotation through a psychiatric hospital. And what I learned about that is that I think I'm just too gullible for that. So...
Okay, so is that like patients with the mental disabilities? Okay.
Yep.
Well, great. So what are you doing in your field? So you graduated nursing school, and what did you do right out of nursing school? What was your first job as a nurse? Were you just
Labor and delivery.
labor and delivery? So you were helping deliver.
Yeah.
How was that?
I loved it.
Was there ever a point where you did that and you thought, "Wow, this is not something I want to do"?
The field.
Second thoughts.
The field itself, no, because I love labor and delivery.
Mhm.
It is my first love. I love it. I still love it.
Okay.
But the reason I left it was just more logistics, where sometimes you're really understaffed, and so I left for that reason. You get burnt out after a while because
Sure.
the acuity is high,
Sure.
and so yeah.
So on an average day, how many babies do you think you would help deliver?
Oh gosh, sometimes none, because I wouldn't have anyone actively laboring. Sometimes I could have up to 4.
And what's the heaviest baby you think you've ever helped deliver?
I know that exact question because I've actually had 4 babies born vaginally that were 11 pounds 4 ounces.
Wow. Those were
Vaginal
single
delivery.
babies,
Yeah.
or okay? Wow, wow.
Yep.
And so you did labor and delivery.
Yep.
Delivery. You decided to leave that job.
Mm-hmm.
You moved on to another job in an office.
Yes.
Right. And what was that job?
Working in a busy OB-GYN clinic.
An OB-GYN clinic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of the before stages of they would go to your clinic while they're pregnant.
Yep.
And then they're going to labor and delivery when they're ready to deliver the baby.
Right. They would get their prenatal care.
Right. So you kind of moved back in the process.
Yeah.
So you leave that job. You move to Texas.
Yes.
And you take a break.
Yeah.
You take a break. I'm in school. I'm in elementary school for 1 year in Texas. I'm in middle school. And you do a few things on the side.
Mm-hmm.
You do a sewing business.
Mm-hmm.
And how was that? How was your break
That was good.
doing that? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. I'm a very crafty person.
Yes.
And I would say that's kind of like an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I find it enjoyable and I find it relaxing. And so in my spare time, I started making dog collars and leashes and that kind of thing. So yeah, it was fun. Enjoyed it.
And was there a stage where you just missed nursing? Or did you always miss nursing?
Yeah, nursing is what I'm supposed to do.
You know that.
Yeah, I know.
You're sure of that.
I'm sure of this. I think definitely if you hear people having a calling, I think it was definitely my calling.
So you began working in nursing again. You began doing home health.
Yep.
Visits.
With pregnant women.
Pregnant women. So pregnant women is the trend.
Yep.
Okay. You do that for a while. How long did you do that for?
5 years.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move on from that.
Yep.
What's next?
So where I am now.
We're here.
Yep. We're here, and I work at University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston.
Horns down.
And I work in their perinatal research department.
Perinatal research. Now, what is that?
So that is where we do research with moms who are expecting.
And what kind of research?
And delivery.
What kind of research is that?
We do all kinds. We do PI, which is the doctor-initiated research within our institution. We do some national studies through NIH, through the Maternal Fetal Medicine Units Network, and we also do some industry studies. And it can be medication studies. It can be device studies, like new medical devices that are coming out. It just kind of varies.
So these studies, this could be, if it's a medicine study, it could be how a certain medicine affects a pregnant mom or her baby.
Exactly.
Or it could be, you talked about a new type. What was the other one? A new type of device. Yeah, machine device. And that could be how that affects a certain. Like, what's an example of a device? Like, what's an example of a study?
Well, so without giving too much information,
right?
Like
a type of device.
Yeah, talking about like a device that could be used for postpartum hemorrhage in somebody who's been laboring vaginally.
So a postpartum hemorrhage, that's some sort of a blood clot.
Where the uterus does not, because after you deliver, the uterus clamps down on its own to minimize bleeding.
Right.
And so it could be a case where that does not happen. And even though we have medications to intervene for that, we're looking at a device that could also help with that.
That's really neat. So how long have you been doing that job?
3 years.
You enjoy it?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're here. So you're doing perinatal research. You're working in Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretty drive every day.
Pretty drive, yes. Drive over the big bridge and the water.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely a water beach person.
I am,
definitely.
Yeah.
If you see her office at her work, she is definitely a beach person.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of walked through your career in nursing and getting there. But if you had to do one other job completely unrelated to nursing or the medical field, what would it be?
That's hard.
For the rest of your life until you retire. Not related to nursing or the medical field. God. And then why, please?
If I was going to do another job outside of the medical field,
Completely.
Yes. I can tell you it would not be working with numbers, so accounting would not be for me.
Okay.
I'm not a numbers person. So with that being said, I probably would consider doing education.
Education, so some form of hands-on, like teaching or
teaching.
Can
I teach medical field?
That's kind of what your boss does, right? Isn't she a part-time professor?
Well, yeah, one of the gals I used to work with, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So teaching.
I guess teaching, yeah. I've never really thought about it since it's what I've always known.
Well, you mentioned something. You mentioned, well, for a time you took a break from nursing.
Yes.
And you turned to sewing. You had a sewing shop on Etsy, and you did some things with that, and you a creative outlet. You think something? I mean, obviously,
I could totally do that. Like I think I could totally have like a shop, like a brick and mortar, where you would flip old furniture and DIY, and I could totally see myself doing.
Well, this is a question. This is a question I like to ask: is if you the current job you have now, and whatever that job pays you, your brick and mortar idea that you just brought up, if they paid the exact same, which one would you do?
The job I have now.
The job you have now. Mm-hmm. The job you have now, or the sewing business?
The job I have now.
So you're pretty set that that's just what you're meant to do. That's your thing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the reason I say that is because for several different reasons. And, one of the big reasons why I went to this job versus a home health job, well, one was for more hours because, of course, you went to college. Sure. But I miss the social interaction. So I miss having friends at work. Mm-hmm. In home health, I had my patients who were my friends, but I didn't ever work with coworkers because we were all independently work from our homes. And so if I'd have my other businesses, I would miss my friends that I work with. And I just love interaction with patients. I love face-to-face. I just love it. It's who I am.
I can see where you bring up teaching, though, because obviously the trend in your job and what you do in nursing is a large part about just helping people in general. So I can see where with teaching you can get a sense of that.
Yeah, and that makes sense because when I was a charge nurse and working in labor and delivery, one of the things that I did do was mentor new nurses because one thing they don't really teach you, or back when I went into nursing school, was you don't really do a lot of labor and delivery.
Right.
And so when you go into that type of field right out of nursing school, you have to be with a nurse for 3 months, for 12 weeks.
Okay.
Just to learn how to do special skills that you don't learn in nursing school. Mm-hmm. And so I was always a preceptor for new nurses. I enjoyed teaching them, being their mentors. And I think if I were ever to go back into labor and delivery at UTMB where I am now, I think I would also enjoy that because it'd be working with residents and fellows. So, yeah, I do enjoy the teaching. So it kind of does make sense that I said that as a second.
So if I would have allowed medical field, maybe teaching in a nursing school?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Teaching how to do what you do?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Okay. So we've gone through your career. We've kind of seen what you would and wouldn't do. Beach or the mountains?
Beach.
Why?
100%.
Why? Give me this person right here is a pro-con list master. So give me the pros for beach over mountains, and give me the cons as why mountains are not favorite.
Well, they both have their pros and cons.
Well, let's just make it simple. Let's just go over. You tell me why you're choosing the beach over the mountains.
I love the sound of the water. I love the sound of the waves. I find it super relaxing just to sit on a beach under an umbrella. Because I don't even get in the water. I'm not the water person. I don't even like getting in a pool. You know this about me. And so I could just sit there all day and read a book. I usually don't read throughout the year, but I usually, when we go to the beach, I'll read up to 3 books when I'm there. So I just love the relaxation of the sun, the sound, the feel of the sand. I just love all that.
And she is a cold-natured person. So
yes, I am. I will wear a jacket at the beach.
So usually mountains lend to cold, and that's...
Well, I do have to say, though, when we went on our ski trip a few years ago,
yeah.
I can't say that I was ever cold. If you're wearing the right equipment, then you're not going to be cold.
That's very true.
But, I mean, there's pros to going to the mountains. I do enjoy the mountains, but I'm just not a winter sports fan. Like, it's not something that it kind of stresses me out to have to do. So, when I'm stressed, it's not relaxing. And so, yeah, I choose to go to the beach.
Okay. Life lessons. I have 2 topics for you, and we'll get your opinion on those. And then the third will be your own input.
Okay.
So the first topic regarding life lessons is, so I was a part of it, but you in 2008 or 9 moved to Texas. 2009. Moved to Texas for Dad's work.
Right.
And we don't have any family here. None, really. Maybe our family member on your mom's side used to live in the Houston area. But
yeah.
No family. We moved for work, just us. And so what takeaways do you have from moving away from the rest of your family and making a big move like that? What takeaways do you have from that?
I think the biggest takeaway is probably it makes you enjoy the time that you have with your family when you do go in even more. Because fortunately, we live away, but we're only 4 hours away. And so,
right.
we do tend to go home a lot, except for right now with us being quarantined.
Right.
But, there's people we were very close with our families. Like, we are all about family. We appreciate our family get-togethers. We all love being together, which probably is not the case in most families. But I feel like, sometimes in some families, y'all can, they can live like just down the street and they'll see each other once a month, when they're right there and they can see each other often. So I think that it just makes us appreciate the time that we have more when we go in.
And previous to that, you lived away from your parents for quite a time. They lived in Tennessee for quite a while, so you were already used to being away from some of your family, Well, good. And so that seemed to work out for you, the move. You're happy where you are?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, good. Being a mom, you're a mom, obviously. I'm here.
Busted him for chewing gum last week.
She did. That's true. What has being a mom taught you?
Well, when you were an infant, it taught me patience, a huge degree of patience, because
I am an only child.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Yeah. So he was pretty rough as a baby. He cried a lot and couldn't entertain himself. So patience, and I think just I don't know, just hoping that you do your best with instilling, good ethics and good, good mannerisms, and you hope that you do that for your children. And it's fun to watch y'all grow, especially when you turn out good.
Any life lessons in general you have to offer about anything? If you could offer up a life lesson to anyone one lesson that's someone is just clueless about life, they don't know anything, and they're lost, and you can offer them one lesson, what would it be?
I would say cut yourself some slack. Be kind to people. Smiles are free. Um, I like the Jimmy Buffett saying, "Wrinkles only go where the smiles have been." I think
Wow.
that's a cool lyric. Even though I'm not usually into lyrics, but I like that.
Jimmy, if you want to come on the podcast, I will interview you.
Yeah, we're parrot heads, so. Um, yeah, just be kind to people. I don't think there's enough kindness, and I think one thing that has happened with this whole, social distancing and self isolation, quarantining kind of thing, is that we are seeing people come together more because the virus, doesn't know race and doesn't know, ethnicity, and so I think we're seeing a lot of people come together, and I think that's kind of been good for our country.
Okay.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. One thing people should know about you.
I don't know. I think I said it all.
I think you got it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
What would you say people need to know?
Oh. Wow, the tables have turned. um, um, I think really, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think just be kind. I think that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's just really no reason to just not be kind to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think kindness probably.
And you do that a lot on your podcast, and so I do like that. You encourage kindness.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think there's not enough of that. I think, like you were saying, this whole coronavirus, the time of the coronavirus it's kind of making us realize that we're all kind of in this whole thing, this whole world together.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Your top 3 movies of all time in no order.
Oh gosh, you know my number one.
Dirty Dancing.
Yes. I do like me some Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
So yeah, that is my number one movie of all time. I like Lion King.
Okay, that's the first one.
The first one.
I know someone who prefers Lion King 1.5 over the first one.
No, I like the first one.
Okay, I agree.
I actually can't say if I've seen 1.5. Yeah. But Lion King, and then golly, number 3. Shoot, you and Dad are movie buffs way more than me. But if there's any third movie that would stick out, I really enjoy Titanic. So I guess I would have to say Titanic.
Titanic, Dirty Dancing, and Lion King.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be your order too? Just by chance?
Yeah, I think so.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Top 3 places you would want to go on a vacation, and you could have been there before or not. I
would like to go back to St. Lucia.
Okay. So you've been there, yeah?
Yeah, for our 10-year anniversary, I think.
Yeah.
And it was fabulous. But, I would say any beach, any tropical beach would be lovely. My number 2 place where I would want to go, I do want to go to Rome. And number 3, anywhere? Golly. I would like to go to New Zealand.
St. Lucia, Rome, and New Zealand.
Yeah.
What would you do in New Zealand?
I'd go visit the Hobbit village.
So you'd fly 11 hours to go to a Hobbit village?
Well, I mean, I would do that while I'm there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I wouldn't be just going for that. I just think that the scenery there is beautiful.
I think it is too.
And it would just be cool to see.
Rome. Speaking of travel, you went to London recently.
Yeah, I did.
England.
In July. Mm-hmm.
How was that?
That was awesome.
And you went by yourself. Well, with a coworker, but
Mm-hmm.
other than that, by yourself.
Yeah, I wish I could have had that experience with you and Dad. I wish I could have been there too.
That would have been cool.
But yeah, it was interesting. It's overnight flights are interesting. Can't sleep on a plane. Still can't sleep even over.
You didn't sleep coming or going?
No.
Jeez. I can't sleep on a plane either.
No, I tried, but no, it wasn't happening. So I think I ended up staying awake like, I don't remember how many hours straight. 36 hours straight? I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot of hours.
Or are aliens real?
Are aliens real? I think they could be real, because who knows?
I mean, that's about as close as anyone could possibly. Yeah, I mean that's. One last meal you can have. What's the meal?
Oh man. One last meal.
An entree, a side, and a dessert.
Okay. Well.
This could be a specific meal if you like from a certain place, or it could just be general. Or
I'm almost tempted to say fried chicken on the bone.
You have anywhere in particular?
No.
It would be from anywhere.
Yeah, it has to be good though. I mean, if it's my last meal.
Obviously.
I'd have to just have a legit chicken on the bone.
What would your side be?
My side. Probably some good mashed potatoes, because
Gravy?
I like eating that with chicken on the bone. Yeah, gravy, but it has to be brown gravy, not white. I don't like white gravy.
Home style?
What's the difference between home style and not?
Home style.
Like whipped real good?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Garlic?
No.
Cheese?
No.
You don't like cheese on a burger either, do you?
No, I do not.
And your dessert?
That would be super hard, but I'd say it would have to be between apple pie or cheesecake. And I think I might have to flip a coin, because I just love them both so much. I'm leaning towards apple pie, though. Heat it up in the microwave. No ice cream on top. No? No.
You don't like anything really mixed with your ice cream, huh? Like, you don't like brownies or anything like that with your ice cream. Cookies?
Not
brownies,
really.
Not really. We kind of already answered this, but beach bungalow or log cabin?
Golly. See, it depends. I mean, it just depends on your mood, but I'm going to say beach bungalow.
Beach bungalow.
But I really do like log cabins, too.
Favorite kind of sporting event to attend in terms of the sport?
So, I would say football.
Live, you think?
Yeah, I enjoy NFL games, college games.
Now, you've gotten into fantasy football in the last several years. Do you like that?
I do like it.
You're pretty hardcore into it.
Yeah, Yeah, I've whipped your butt a few times or two.
That's true.
Yeah, I enjoy them.
Well, I think that's about it. Thank you for coming. I'm glad to have you as my first inaugural guest on the podcast.
I enjoyed it. I think that I'm more of a quiet and reserved person, so this is kind of like a big step for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're glad to have you, and thank you guys, as usual, for tuning in to the podcast. We're glad we put this together for you guys, and I hope everyone's staying safe and staying home, and telling our family members that you love them, and just having a good time and hanging in there like the rest of us. So thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, this has been the Lone Star Cajun Podcast. Thank you.
Social distance.